Hello. Hopefully it's playing. I usually have my phone nearby to check, but I don't. So let me just hop on the tablet and make sure. Sorry, should have had this set up. Iron just fell asleep. Okay. And this is different on my tablet. Of course it is. All right. So we're just going to hope for the best. Well, no. Oh, there we go. Now I can look it up. I thought I had, hold on. Well, this is the boring beginning of the video. So sorry. Subscriptions. There we go. Duh. Am I not subscribed to myself, really? Oh, I'm logged into the wrong one. So it's okay. All right. It looks like we are going. Right. Yep. It looks like we are. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Weird start. Today we are making, I had to pull my pattern up. Today we are making the Fieldstone Tote by Noodlehead. This is the tote, and sorry about the darkness. Just as I was getting ready to go live, a thunderstorm rolled over, of course. So this is the worst lighting. I've set up the rest of the lighting so it should be better. But the fabric that I am using for this Fieldstone Tote, if you had not already seen it on my stories or on the reel I did about a week ago, is the July Dynamic fabric kit from Thunderbird Handcrafted. And this is how she's going to do the dynamic fabric kits going forward, which I love because it has a suggested pattern. And she gives you, in the kit, she gives you everything you need for the bag. So we've got the fabric, designed by Thunderbird Handcrafted, and here is the other lining piece that we're going to do. And we've got excuse me, oops, wrong one. And we've got this gorgeous mashup of sea creatures and such things. And finally, the hand-dyed fabric that she is most known and loved for, that we'll be using on the exterior as well. So we will get started here in a moment, but before I do, if you like this video, please like and subscribe if you are not already. And yeah, so oh, I promised myself I was going to do this because I did not do it in the last couple of lives. I am Jackie. I am half of Tez River Artisans. I am the sewing half. My husband does woodworking. So there you go. Hope you enjoy this sew along. We are going to start by getting my pieces put together because I just made a mess of them trying to find the ones to show you. So we're going to start on the gusset. So I am going to pull the we're actually starting on the exterior in general. The gusset specifically, that's going to be in the other shot. Oh, my microphone thing just fell. Hold on. Okay. All right, there we go. That should stay put now. Okay. So let's switch to the table. There we go. And we are going to take the gusset and get started on that. And we're just going to line up the bottoms, although I need to decide, oops, there you go. I need to decide which I want to be the bottom and which I want to be the top. Because I have, this is one piece that I've, cut in half. think I want this to be at the top and this to be at the bottom. So I'm going to line these up and sew them along this bottom half, or this bottom seam. Okay, and I am going to be doing this on my industrial. I have a Sailrite Ultrafeed LSZ, and I'll be using that today, mostly because a lot of this with the fabric and the interfacing, it does get a little thick. I could do it on my domestic machine, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to do it all on Jester, and she'll be able to handle it. She should be able to handle it. Oh, I do want to mention that this fabric, as well as the exterior here, and she is sold out of this kit. I'm sorry, but she is going to be doing them monthly. This fabric and this fabric are both denim twill, and the framed fabric that I showed you a few minutes ago, you'll see it soon, is a Kona cotton, and the shipwreck is here it is. This shipwreck here is a Luxe sateen. It's like a nice tight woven cotton. It feels really good. I love this. This is one of my favorites, but she doesn't carry it anymore, except for in special occasions like this. So, of course, I had to snatch some up. And this is a Kona cotton, which also feels very good. Kona is a really nice cotton to use. It's similar to quilting cotton, but I actually like it even more. It's like a very high quality quilting cotton. It's really, really nice. So, but I love the look of the denim twill because the texture is just amazing. So we're just gonna get that done. Let me get one of my front and back pieces here ready. And here we go. Let me switch over. Switch cameras there. Ah, yes, that is much better lighting. Good, good, good. I brought one of my other lamps over. Oh, it's not really, what is it? What is it focusing on? It's supposed to be auto-focusing. Oh, well, okay. So, here we go. And if you watched my last live, Jester was a little fussy with me because I had not maintained her in too long, and she definitely needed some TLC. So I did that this morning. She got some oil, and she got a nice, got rid of all the fabric pieces that, not pieces, but the, lint cleaned out. So she is sounding much better now. And I should have mentioned, this is not going to be a tutorial. This is strictly a live sew. So I will give you some tips and tricks on techniques and whatnot. And if anyone comes on while I'm sewing, please feel free to mention anything. If you have any questions, I will be checking the chat, and we'll answer some questions if you have them. And I also, if you want to see a tutorial for this, Noodlehead has a YouTube page as well, or a YouTube channel as well, and she does have a tutorial on it. So, and Jenna from Thunderbird Handcrafted also did one. It's more of a live sew along like mine. But let's switch over here to the iron, and oh yeah, see, that lighting is not great, but it's okay because we're just going to iron something. It's nothing terribly specific, so I gotta wait for that to warm up. I'm just gonna iron this down because we're gonna spread out the seam allowance here. I'm actually gonna do it from this side. Make sure that's nice and flat. just press that down for a minute. Yeah, it's pretty warm. Okay. Give it a little steam. Make sure it stays nice and flat. There we go. Okay. And the reason we want that nice and flat is because, of course, it is going to be the bottom of our bag. So, oh, you can't see that. So it's going to be the bottom of our bag. Let me see if I can get that shot wider. See if I can pull this up a little. Oops, not from that one. Oh, sorry about the jumpiness. There we go. That's a little better. Lighting's not as good because it's farther away now, but at least there's more room. You can see more. Okay. So now we need to set this aside for just a moment. And on the wrong side of the exterior main panel, we're going to make a couple of dots and mark centers. And what is... Sorry, Mike is sending me something. He is running errands. What is he sending me? Oh, okay. Thanks, hon. Okay. So we're going to mark our corners. Or, yeah, we're going to put some marks on our corners, and we are going to mark our centers. So let me find... Oh, this will work. Get that. And top to bottom, marking centers. I'm just going to clip just a little teeny tiny amount. It'll be in the seam allowance, so it won't matter. And clip just a teeny tiny bit there. And we do the same thing on this one, and then we will mark the corner marks that she says to mark. I did that from top to bottom, right? Yep, okay. This interfacing, some people would consider it a stabilizer that I'm using on the exterior, is a fusible fleece. On the lining, I'm just using an SF101, so it's a bit lighter. That is an interfacing. So it's not even SF101. I misspoke. It's Profuse from Wawak. It is the alternate to SF101 that I have actually found I like better. So that is what I get now. All right, so these are pretty similar. Which one's, I guess it doesn't really matter which one is the front because they are almost identical. Wow, how did I do that? Wow, okay, I didn't even try to do that. Okay, so we are going to take this, it's 1/2 inch, and we're going to sew just from dot to dot. Okay, got it. So we need a quick marking here. And we're just gonna put a dot like at the corner of what would be, okay, I'm gonna trim that down. That's not the edge of the fabric. That's the edge of the fusible fleece. There we go. That's better. Oops, corner is good. So let me mark that. It would be as if we were doing like a little 1/2 inch box, but we're just going to mark the dot. So that visible really well. And we're doing this along the bottom where the gusset is going to be. All right. There we go. And now we're going to take this front of the bag and the gusset, and we're going to sew them together. I think I want that really pretty bit toward the front, so we're going to put them like that. And we're gonna line up this center mark, or the center here with the center mark here. I know it sounds like a tutorial, but it's just because nobody's on, so I'm talking to myself. It's not intended to be a tutorial. Okay, there we go. And we're just going to sew from dot to dot, not all the way to the edge. And I really like, from what I've seen so far, I really like the way that she installs the gusset. This is really kind of neat, a neat way to do it. So let's go back over to the machine. And again, we're just sewing from dot to dot. By the way, this pattern does, in fact, have 2 views in it, and we are doing view A. And there's also 2 sizes, a mini and a regular, and we're doing the regular size. So I'm doing a regular size of view A. I am also going to make the mini in view B, but I'm not going to do that live because that is going to take some time. Uh-oh. She started sounding a little weird there. Why do you sound like that? I oiled you. Okay, there's the dot. All right. Get the other snipped off there. Okay. Oh, hey, Wes. How's it going? Thanks for joining. I am making a tote bag today. Oops. I'm also forgetting to switch the view. There we go. Making a tote bag. So this would be fun. Okay, so we did center to center, and then we're going to clip the dot. Okay, got it. And it's all, yep, right side. Okay, so I'm going to clip here. I'm just clipping this 1/2 inch up to the dot, but I'm not going to clip my threads. Just get it as close as I can without actually cutting the threads. And then flip it around and line this up. This, well, it would have helped if I had actually clipped the gusset, not the side. That was dumb. I need to clip the gusset because that's the part that's folding. That'll be all right. There we go. And we're going to fold the gusset up like this, make it kind of a 90-degree angle. And we'll have this little corner where we clipped it so that everything can line up really nice and straight. There we go. And this time we're going to sew all the way from the top to that dot again. I'm going to get the other side done first so that I can line that up. Get this all lined up and then take it to the sewing machine. You better not be acting up. She started sounding a little chunky there, but I oiled it really, really well. So I'm hoping that it's something else. Okay, so we're going to do, just double checking the bottom here. Okay, yep, so we're good here. And then we're actually going to do, oh yeah, we're going to do the other side the same way. So let's finish this part. And okay. Well, it looks like the thunderstorm is pretty much past. It might be raining still, but that's good because I was a little concerned about power. Yeah, I think she might just be getting grumpy if I go too fast, which is weird. I'm going to hand crank this into the corner to make sure I don't get anything wonky. There we go. Okay. That's one side. Clip those threads, clip these threads. And hopefully I can flatten that out. Yeah, there we go. That shouldn't be in the way now. I'm actually going to lower my needle first to make sure I'm in the right spot, and then put down my presser foot. Oops. That is very weird. I do not like how she's sounding. Okay, get these threads clipped, and then we're going to put the other side on the same way. And I like the way that she does this. I do kind of wish that I could just sew the entire gusset on at the same time, but this is a really neat way to do it. So because it's the way that she does it, we just have to make sure that we are actually sewing. Yeah, I need to trim this down a bit. Make sure that we are sewing the bottom and then the sides, because we need those little boxed corners. Again, the fusible fleece is kind of over a little bit, so I want to be able to see the fabric itself. Okay. And then check the other sides. The side looks like it could use a little tiny trim. It's just barely peeking out. I didn't do this on the sides on the other one, and it was a little challenging to make sure I was lining it up with the fabric and not the fusible fleece, so that's why I'm doing it on this one. Okay. So we're gonna do the same thing here and do right sides together. Nope, just kidding. Gotta do my corners. Gotta mark my corners. That one there. And one there. Make this one a little darker so I can see it better. Okay, That's good. All right, so now we're going to do them right sides together, marking up that corner, or lining up the center spots, I mean. I'm still hearing some thunder, so if I do happen to go out, I will pause and continue when I can. And we're doing this flat. Remember, this whole thing, this part is laying it flat and sewing it like this. So we're not worried about the gusset going up the sides yet. So this one's going to be a little more tricky because it's already turning from the other side, but that's okay. Not a problem. I'm just going to double check, make sure I'm not doing anything wrong yet. No. Exterior panel. Exterior wrong side out. Yep. Nope. I'm good. Okay. Here we go. Get that out of the way. That's going to be the biggest pain, is to make sure you can still see it on the camera, because it's trying to fold up in front of it. All right, again, I'm going to line up my needle, drop it a little bit, and then drop my parcel foot. Now she's not sounding weird. I don't know what's going on with her. Hopefully she was just being grumpy, because she sounds fine now. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get this camera like mounted. Mike, if you're listening, I'm gonna figure out a way to get this camera here mounted, like from the top or something. I don't know, because my fabric is running right into it. Oops, a little bit off. There we go. Do it. And Wes, if you're on still, Mike is actually running errands right now. So I don't even know if he's listening right now. Which is fine, because we need food. So him running to the grocery store is more important, so we can have dinner. Over here, and we're going to do our clips again, and I'm going to do it on the gusset side like I'm supposed to. And nice and close, but not getting my threads. Wait, is that the... Ah, I thought so. Wasn't quite to the dot yet. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna flip it this way to get this side down. We're doing the same thing. So we've got this little corner here sticking out, and that's correct. And on this side isn't lining up quite as well. It's a little taller. That's all right. I'll hide that in the seam allowance somewhere. If they were way off, I'd be worried, but it's just like an 1/8 of an inch off, so I'm not worried about it. Okay. All right. I'll get this front on, or the back, whatever this is going to end up being. I still can't believe I made them identical like that. I wasn't even trying to do that. That's like fussy cutting at its finest, and I didn't even do it on purpose. Okay. Get that down there. All right, so here's a tip. If you clip more than the seam you're working on, like I clipped both sides of this, be careful that it doesn't catch on your sewing table. Yeah, it's when I go faster that she's not liking it. Okay, but anyway, I don't know if you noticed it or not, but I started veering a little bit because a clip got caught on my sewing table and it started, it just got caught, and so the fabric started like twisting a little bit. Just be careful about that. Don't go too far. Let's back that up just a teeny bit. There we go. All right. And flip it around, do the other side. Okay. There we go. I'm gonna see if I like doing totes this way. This is the first time I've made this particular pattern. I like making totes. They're incredibly useful, and they're also usually pretty quick. So so I do like making them. This one is going to be very quick because it does not have a closure at the top. It's going to be an open bag. And that's why the mini is going to be, I'm going to do that, but not on a live because it'll take forever if I do it on a live. Because it's got a few extra pieces so that it can have a zipper closure at the top. But it's going to be really cute because the mini will be able to fit inside the one we're making now. And they're going to match, and it's going to be adorable. All right, there we go. So technically, we currently have the exterior of a bag. That's why totes are so quick. It's a gusset front and a back. And you technically, oops, switching cameras. Front and a back on a gusset, and you technically have the exterior of a bag already. So, but we need handles. So I'm using, oh, Stormy just came running. What's the matter, bud? You okay? Are you all right? That was very bizarre. Okay, so I'm actually going to use, how long do I want this to be? I wrote it down somewhere because she's got different options, and somewhere I wrote down what I was going to do. And yep, there it is. All right. I like longer handles on totes typically because longer handles on totes allow you to pick it up without like bending your wrist weird or anything, and picking it up and putting it on your shoulder without bending your wrist weird. So I'm gonna make it kind of long here. We're gonna have 26-inch handles. All right. And these handles also came in the kit. They're super cute. So there we go, lining those up. It's easier than measuring again. It also makes sure that they're exactly even. But so we're also gonna melt the ends so they don't fray. Oh, come on. Okay, that looks pretty good. I usually would get out my bigger lighter for this, but I'm kind of wishing I had. There we go. I think it's pretty melted pretty well. Excuse me. All right, so we're gonna put both centers 1.5 regular size, so 2 inches. Okay, so we've got to make a mark, and we're gonna go 2 inches on either side of the center mark. I can't see what I'm doing there, sorry. Get off there. Okay, oops. This out of the way. This is gonna just make sure that our handles are even on that side, and the same thing on the other side. Okay, there we go. And is that where the insides are going to go? Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. You're okay. Calm down. Stormy is freaking out because of this thunderstorm. It's over, but his anxiety is up. So, all right, side together with fabric. Inner edge to the marking. All right, cool, cool. All right, inner edge to the marking. That's what I thought it was going to be. I just wanted to confirm. So, I want these to look the same when they are done. So I'm going to clip this one and sew it on, and then I'm going to do the other one to make sure it's matching. I want to make sure this does not twist. And it's not twisted, so we'll clip that. And actually, you know what? I think I can just go ahead and make sure it looks the same from here. So we will flip to the other side. Get our handle kind of out of the way. I think I want them to match. This is going to be the outside. This is going to be the outside. So if I do it this way, they will match. Okay, good, good. There's that. And again, making sure this does not twist. And get it lined up with our other mark. And we're going to baste these on. Baste all 4 pieces on. So that just means we're going to move that over 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. And I really, really do not want these to come out, so I'm going to baste it on pretty well. All right, so I've backstitched across the entire thing to make sure that it is not coming up. And then we're gonna take the presser foot and go to the other side. I'll snip the threads in a minute. Make sure, where's my mark? There it is. Okay. Wait, where'd it go? Oh, okay. sure it stays straight. Okay. That was not perfect, but it will do because it's just a basting stitch. Okay, and I'm going to double check one more time to make sure that when this handle is out, I can't see it which way we're going. We're going this way. All right, when this handle is out, it's got the light blue to the inside. So when I want this one, I want the light blue also to be the inside, and it is. So we are good. With a lot of webbing, you wouldn't need to worry about that. But this is a really cute wavy webbing. This particular kit actually also came with a wavy ruler, but I'm a little chicken and I'm not going to use that on the regular size tote. I may do it on the mini tote, but we'll see. It allows us to, it allows you to draw a line so you can kind of quilt it. Okay, and to the next one. Make sure it's still lined up properly, and it is. Oops. Okay. There we go. We have straps. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to double check, but if I'm not mistaken, that means we are ready to move on to the interior. We just did an exterior that quick. I don't even know how long I've been on, but it hasn't been long. So, okay. Back to the table cam. I'm going to get some water. Got to stay hydrated while I double check my pattern, make sure we're good. And we are. So this particular bag, I'm going to set this to the side. This particular bag has a, oh, that's going to look so cute. Look in there. That's going to look adorable. This particular bag has a little hanging pocket, and I've never done one of these before, and I am just fascinated. Of course, I've got to find the pieces first. Here we go. So we're going to make this hanging pocket, and it's going to hang, I don't know if you can see it in the picture very well, but it's going to hang on one side of our tote, and it's going to be so cute. So let's... All right, so I've got, this is the exterior that I'm going to use, and this is the lining that I'm going to use. And I know I cut it wrong. It's the lining of the pocket, so I'm not going to worry about it. I wish I'd cut it that way, but again, I think it looks okay. It's still shipboards and stuff coming up through the shipboards. It's really cute. You can see the little bubbles, and you can see like some stuff coming up through the boards. Okay, and it also matches, in case you were wondering, it matches this one as well, this background behind the framed pictures. So these are obviously like, there's the Kraken, there's Jaws, there's Moby Dick, you know, you've got all your little, got all the sea creatures on here. So the first thing we need to do is get our zipper, and the kit came with gold hardware. Oh, I forgot to show you these. These are so cute. They say, I run a tight shipwreck. Where are you? I run a tight shipwreck. I'm not sure which. I think I might put that along the top of one of those. I'll pick. I don't want to forget. I'm going to put them right here so they're in the way. And we also have this adorable little fishy bones that is 3D printed. And we have the rest of the gold hardware and a little sew-in tag that we'll put somewhere. I'm going to put those over there so I don't forget. This one is the one I'm going to use on the mini. So I need this zipper pull and this zipper tape. And I'm just going to cut a piece the same width as my piece of fabric. And where'd my lighter go? I just had it. So I was melting webbing. Here it is. Okay, now I've said this before and I will say it again. Some people are not comfortable sewing on a zipper without the pull on it, because you can, in fact, sew it on without the pull on it. I am not one of those people. I am all about sewing it and then putting the pull on afterwards because it gives me a straighter stitch, and I much prefer that. So what we're going to do, spin my pattern around here. It's on my tablet. We're going to do side facing up, right side down. All right. So I think we're going to want it like that. Yes. So we're going to put these right sides together because this is going to be my outside. So I'm going to get some tape. There we go. And I want it to go, yeah, I want it to go that direction. Okay, got that down, and then we're going to put another row of tape. You can baste this if you prefer. I prefer tape. It's just faster for me. And then I'm going to put, I think I'm going to put it like this. Yeah, I'm going to put it like that. I'm going to make sure that I'm lined up on the sides and the top. There we go. Okay, so now I've got my zipper sandwich, and I am going to sew the zipper in with, so they're all layers using, okay, cool. I'm going to sew it and then top stitch it. I think, let's see, how far away are you? If I do that, you're going to be right on the zipper. So I'm going to slide you over, and yeah, I think that should work. Let's just double check. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I'm lining this up so that the zipper teeth is right along this edge. I can use a zipper foot, but I'm not changing it right now because changing the foot on Jester is a little more time intensive than the others. So just make sure I'm lined up properly. Yep. All right. Goes getting a little feisty again. I want to make sure that this is actually a full 1/4 inch, because if it's not, I can't get any, I can't change that. So I might do this on Birdie. Oh no, that's perfect. 1/4 inch. Excellent. Okay, so that's a good 1/4 inch. I'm gonna go press it real quick away from the zipper, and I will be right back. Still can hear me, obviously, but I'm not gonna change the view just for a quick press. I could just pull it and sew it, but I am a little picky about my top stitching, so I do like to press it to make sure it is good. And that's with cotton, or something that I can press. If I were using vinyl or something like that, obviously I can't press it. I would probably use the a roller on it or something. But or even with some vinyls, I'll put a Teflon sheet over it so that I can still press it without damaging it. But all right, now we're gonna pop this over here and we're gonna top stitch. Oh, that is way far away. I don't want to be that close. Gracious. Let's do that. Yeah, that looks better. In fact, there we go. That looks good. Come on. Oops. I might have nested because I wasn't holding both. Okay, there we go. Well, you may have noticed also, if you've seen other ones, I normally do not backstitch my top stitching, but because of the way, unless it's going to be hidden in a seam allowance, and this is going to be hidden in a seam allowance, so it's fine. So I'm going to backstitch. Okay. And now I'm just going to do this part right here. Grab my tape. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to pull this top. Oh, you can't see it. That's not going to make any sense there. So I will switch. Okay. I need to bring my trash can closer. Okay, so we're going to do the other side of the zipper now. And I'm going to put my tape down. And I'm going to pull the front print up and meet this front of the zipper. So I want to make sure they're aligned on the sides and with the top of the zipper, the edge of the zipper. Oh, I'm hearing thunder again. Hopefully that doesn't mess me up with this live. Okay, and we're going to flip it over and do the same thing. We're going to take this, so we're still making a zipper sandwich, but we're just doing it on the opposite side of the zipper. And this is the way she shows you how to do it in her video, but I'm going to change something in a minute, because in her video she already has the zipper pull on it. I do not. And I don't want to yet. We will put it on momentarily. For right now, that is not lined up. Do that one a little better. Pull it down. There we go. That's better. Okay. All right, so we're going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to sew the seam there. I'm going to, then I'm going to go over to the iron, press it. But first, I will show you what makes it so much easier and the reason that I don't put the zipper pull on yet. So, I'm going to do, flip back over here. Just moving my needle. It's the thing with a LSZ, you can do a straight stitch and you can do a zigzag stitch, so I have the ability to move my needle position. I love this machine, and I want the straight stitch one too. And yes, I have my domestic, and yes, I have a serger that I pretty much never use, but I want one. I also want a cylinder arm. Can't have them yet. Don't have money and don't have room. So you can see here that this, if I pull, no you can't because I'm not in the frame. If I were to pull this around and try to top stitch, I'm top stitching in a hole. Let's see, where we go. I'm top stitching in a hole because I just made a loop, right? So I'm going to undo this zipper. I'm going to just unzip it all the way across. I'm going to flip these out so it's right side out like this. And then I'm going to go to the iron real quick, press this, and we'll come back and top stitch it. Just get this pressed real quick. And again, I have the different angles so that I can show you things, but this, it just seems kind of silly. I'm just pressing a seam. Okay, there we go. So just pressed that seam down, and I'm gonna top stitch that. And again, I can back stitch because it will be in the seam allowance. Otherwise, I would pull it to the back and tie it off. And I know you probably may not have noticed, but this thread that I'm using is the same thread that I used on my last bag that I did on my last live. And I was having a heck of a time with it. I think that my domestic just doesn't like this thread anymore. I love it. It's a variegated thread. It's really pretty. It's like different shades of a teal color. So, okay. Back over here. All right. So now we have our pocket, but it's no longer one pocket. So I'm going to take I forgot to check and see which one was on top. That's fun. So it really doesn't matter as long as they're lined up well. Ow. What am I doing? It's got to be like this. So we want the zipper to be closing to the left. So I'm going to trim that off because there. So now the left is most assuredly going to be, no, maybe not. All right, well, just put the zipper pull on and see how it goes. Okay. Yeah, actually, the zipper doesn't look right, but the fabric does. The fabric is lined up really nicely that way. Yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. But I'm going to pull it all the way to the side and off the edge. And I'm going to do this again so that I have both sides of it, so that both sides are closed. Okay, yeah, we got it lined up. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is this pocket, it's going to look kind of like this, right? So I need to kind of eyeball it here. Yep, I'm eyeballing it for right now. Actually, no, I'm not. It's not in me to eyeball anything. Well, most of the time. Oh, well, I eyeballed that pretty well anyway. Just a teensy bit more. Like that. Nope. This is why I should just eyeball it, because now I'm getting too specific. Okay, this is good. I'm going to clip that there. And then a teeny bit off. This is why my husband loves my bags, because I am ridiculously specific. even when I say in my lives and stuff, even when I'm like, oh, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. Trust me, if it's not going to be fine, I'm going to redo it. I'm just trying to appear way less paranoid than I actually am about my work. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to baste along both edges, and then we will finish them off. We're actually going to use binding to finish them. Yeah, I did switch it. Okay, good. All right. I'm also going to go over this zipper, the zipper teeth a couple of times, just to give it a little extra security there. Okay. All right, and got that side. And oh, I should have said this in the beginning of the video, but thank you so much to Noodlehead for allowing me to use your pattern in my video. I greatly appreciate that. Let's do one more. Well, I didn't quite hit it, but that's okay. All right, there we go. Let's leave it there. Trim our threads. And it is quite rumbly out there. I don't know if you can hear it or not. Okay, so now we have the zipper pull on. We've got it basted down the sides. Sorry, the zipper pull on, basted down the sides. And we're going to use binding. Thunderbird Handcrafted has this binded and dyed that I absolutely love. And this is what came in the kit. And I love this. I really do. I actually have some already, I think. Or some that looks very, very similar. But I don't know if that's what I want to use. This piece, it's going to go on. It's going to go on. This is the lining here. So let me flip it back around. It's going to go around on the lining like that. And I feel like this is just a little too dark. So I pulled out the mint. I actually think I really like the mint. It's going to go really well with the hand dyed too. Like when you open it, you'll see the hand dyed, and the hand dyed's got some mint going on in there. Yeah, I think I'm going to use the mint. Now, what this does do is it makes, and I can use this for the smaller one. So, oops, move that. Actually, I need to move both of them. There we go. And so we're going to take this. This is, of course, it's 1.25 inches. I think this one's 1.25 inches. Let's measure it. Yep, this is 1.25 inches. And the pattern actually has used the fabric, but Jenna included or Thunderbird Handcrafted included the 1 inch binded and dyed, because when you use the fabric, you use 2 inches of it and like fold it over to make the binding. But the binded and dyed is really handy because it's already done for you. You don't have to fold it, you know, if you don't want to. But 1 inch is what we're supposed to be wrapping around this edge. This is actually 1¼ inch. So yeah, that's fine. It'll be good. It's not that much wider. It's literally like a quarter. Yeah, it's 1/4 inch. I don't know if you can see that. It's barely bigger. It'll be fine. Because I love the way this looks. Look at that. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay. So I'm going to just snip off a bit here. I'm going to make it a little longer than the pocket itself. And I'm going to do the same thing with another piece. Okay. Yeah, this is mint frosting. I don't know if she still has mint frosting left or not, but it's so good. Okay, so I'm going to take this, and there's a center piece. I don't know if you can see it, but the way that this is woven, there's actually a center line, and that's what I'm going to use to line this up. And then I'm going to fold it over like this to do the side binding, but because I'm me, I'm going to use tape. So I'm just going to take this, and it's not going to be in the seam allowance, so I'm not really worried about it. It just makes my life easier, that's all. I'll get all 4 sides done with the tape, and then we will apply the binding. Oh, I need to trim that down. This zipper is sticking out too much. Okay, here we go. And because I just trimmed it, I need to... Why do I keep losing my lighter? Oh, there it is. I just trimmed the zipper, so I am gonna very, very carefully melt the edges again. Gotta be real careful because this cotton can catch fire. Yep, that'll do. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, there we go. Okay. All right. So looking at it from the, do I want to put that on top? Yeah, I think I want it like that. So I'm going to take this and line it up with the center, but I'm going to stay off center just a touch because it is thick and you don't want it to be too off. You want that center bit to be right on that line. So, oops, double-sided tape is trying to come up. Okay, so I want it just like that. And this piece we're going to wrap around to the front. Oh, why is my double-sided tape being obnoxious? Come on. There we go. All right. So we're going to wrap this around like this. And then it's going to get folded over. And that's how we're going to keep the bottom of this looking nice and looking good. I'm actually going to kind of trim it in a little bit. There. So this is going to, again, just wrap around like so. And then we're going to pull this down. I am going to clip it even though it is taped. Yeah, so this is a little more than this is a little more than the 1/2 inch that it's supposed to have per the pattern, but it still looks good. Still looks really good. I just really wanted to use that mint. I thought it was so good. And it's like parts of this mint is almost identical to the to the dyed fabric that we're using. And I know Jenna's probably going, no, it's not, Jackie. It is not. But it's so similar. It looks so good with it. And I've had this mint for a while. I need to stop hoarding it. I need to use it. We're going to do the same thing. Line it up at the top. Along that middle line. Like so. And then we'll, I'm going to go ahead and trim these corners in first. So I think that was a good idea. Okay, and we're going to fold this over. I would be perfectly happy if this thunderstorm just went right past us. We just skated along outside of town. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay, so now I'm going to just top stitch right here along, and I should be able to catch the back in as well. And then we'll be able to put it on the interior. Stormy. Oh, Mike is home, so the dogs are gonna throw a fit. They get very excited when Mike gets home. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I think I want to do this like that. Move my needle over, and I'll start at the bottom so that I know it's good and how I want it. Oh, that is not how I want it. How I want it is going to take some tape. I just need a teeny bit as soon as I find it. I'm just going to take a teeny bit of tape and put it, you can't see that. It's a weird angle for me, but I'll try to do it this way. I just want a teeny bit of tape and put it right in here so that stays down. And I also want to put a little fray check on that so it doesn't come unraveled. So I will do that. So we're just putting a little fray check right here where I trimmed it, and that'll dry clear. It's basically like super watery glue is basically what it is. And then get this up. There we go. And I'm going to put some, oh, stop that. I'm going to put some fray check here where I did that as well. All right. That's much better, I think. Yeah. Well, it's stuck down, so there we go. That's what I wanted it to do. Haha. Okay. I need it right there. Okay. Yay. Now this one is an example of one I am going to pull through and tie because I do not want this to be seen from the front. So I'm going to just start sewing and keep going to the top. I will top stitch at the top. Oh, it's pulling it over really well. Weird. That's strange. Okay. And Okay, we are top stitched on one side, and I'm gonna just double check, make sure it caught on the back. And well, that is not looking as much quite how I would like it to look. So just trim that a little bit. And make sure it pulled, yep, it caught all the way down. So I'm gonna go ahead and, actually I'm gonna make one more stitch. Oof, I don't know if you heard that. That sounds close. All my stuff is on surge protectors. My biggest concern, honestly, is my internet going out. So if my internet does go out, then I will pick this up later. Okay. There we go. All right, there's one side down. I am gonna just catch this with a little more fray check. Just make sure it's nice and snug. There we go. Okay. I think I am going to do this one from the top. We'll see how that goes. I think going from the top was the right idea because now I can see this much better. Okay, and that part where it's folded at the bottom I can see and deal with a whole lot easier if I'm coming at it the way I did on that one, but that's all right. We're gonna pull up our piece, pull it back to the back, and tie it off. All right, and I'm going to just hit the ends of my thread a little bit with the lighter. Just so they stay hidden. There we go. Melt those little threads down. Remember, do not do this with cotton thread. It will not work. The thread will not melt, it will burn. Okay, so here we have a cute little hanging pocket. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Okay, so we're going to take this back, and my tablet fell asleep. Let's bring that back up. All right, I did all that. Getting some water. Yep, okay, we're gonna center this little guy and baste it on. So this is not how most people center. They will, at least not from what I've seen. Where's my long ruler? There it is. Rather than cutting a centerpiece, and actually, you know what? No, because that's going to be the top. Never mind, I'm mumbling to myself. I'm going to do it this way. So that's my center. And that's 2.5, and that's 2 almost right there. There we go. Right there. So I'm going to clip this along the top. I like the way she does this, this little hanging pocket. It's kind of cute because it's like one continuous piece, but like a lot of people would have just done a strip and then this, you know, going around to the back or something like that and had this all raw right here. But I think that's actually kind of neat. I like the way she does that. So I'm going to baste this on. Get my tape back over the table. Whew. All right. Okay. All right, we've got that basted on, and we're going to put the top edge on now. So the lining has also like a top piece, sorry, like a top piece that's going to go up here. And that's what we are going to put on now. And I'm sorry I'm sideways to the thing, but I think this is the one inner panel. Yep, that's it. So I'll put that to the side. All right, I want this. This is going to be on the piece that you really see the most. So I think I'm going to put this one on because it's got the Inferno and Tower of Avalon. Yeah, so I'm going to put these right sides together like this and clip those. And I also think, before I get this finished, I think I might put, where am I? There they are. I want a tight shipwreck. Where do I want this? I think I want this on maybe the other side. Yeah, I'll save this for the smaller one, and I'll use the dark blue one on the other side, like right there. Let's see what that seam allowance is going to be. I'll put it on after I sew these two together, but we're gonna put those together there. Okay. And then this little guy, I'm gonna just get a little piece of tape and tape him in there. So I've got this little fabric, sunshine. Pardon me. And this little fabric sunshine guy. He's cute, and he was part of the kit, so I want to use him. Okay, and I'm also going to put one in the center so it doesn't move around on me. I told you I love double-sided tape. Okay. There we go. Okay, and I want this to look this way when it's in the bag, so I'm going to flip them over here. I need my bag tag in here too. I usually put that on the exterior, but I forgot. Let's take a look at that because I need bag tags on here. This, you know, making the bag. I should take credit for it. These are the colors that I've got to work with. I usually put on the exterior, but I could put it like on the inside right there. That's an option. Or I could put it, I still have room. I could put it on the exterior between the straps. Yeah, but either way, it's going to go on this print fabric. So let's see for color work. How do these work for color? I don't know about that. Definitely not purple. Maybe. Oh, that is much too bright. It would look good on this one, but not on the outside. No, too late. No, kind of fades into the color. Oh, not the black. Brown? Potential. Nope, not that one. And yes, this is what I go through every single time I make a bag. I have to decide, and I usually do it off camera though. This one I don't like. I'm thinking those are too shiny for denim. Gray or brown. Here are my options. Oops. Gray or brown. I think I'm gonna go with gray. Let me find some tags that look like that. I think that's this one. I really need a better way to do my tags because I still keep them in the little baggies that how they come from Heartwood and Hide. Yep, that's the one. Put him back in the stack. I keep them in the little baggies from Heartwood and Hide, mostly so I know what I ordered. I know Jade and Chris are really good at we have our order history there, of course, but I don't want to close that up yet because I'm just not going to put these back where they belong. I'm going to put them out with the other stuff so I can choose before I make the mini. But anyway, I keep one of each in one bag so I can decide on the color, and then I go get it from one of the other bags. It's just how my brain works. I don't know yet if I'm going to put it on, I think I'm going to put it on the exterior. Yeah, I'm going to put it on the exterior. So I'll do that before I move on. Okay, I need to sew this down, and then I'll sew the other one and put the other tag on there that was part of the kit. That is, okay. All right, so I'm going to sew this down. I'm going to take a moment to press it off camera real quick, and then we will top stitch it. So I'm going to go ahead and clip both. Put these right here so I don't forget again. And I want that up like that. There we go. Okay. Let's go over to the machine and get these on. Just double check that measurement. Yep. I shouldn't need to double check it, but I do. Okay, now I'm going to slow down coming up on this. I may need a hump jumper. I probably won't, but I just want to slow down in case I do. All right, that went well. I don't need one. Excellent. Get that straight. Okay, and we're gonna just go right into the next one. I'm gonna snip them apart. Whoa. Because I don't want it going off the back. My window's back there, so I try not to let too much go off the back. If it does, it's not a big deal, but it's just easier this way, I think. I need to start paying attention to my seams because I did not start this with a full bobbin. And I'm going to run out of bobbin thread at some point. I just didn't want to waste all that thread. I mean, you've seen how much I've been able to sew already. It's a lot of thread to waste. So, all right, I'm going to go press these. We're pressing it so that this seam, it just goes right over top of it because we're going to top stitch on that top band. So just press that real quick over here and I will get right back to the machine. Okay, one's done. Let's get this other side done. Okay, I think that's good. Yep, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to just top stitch both of these. And I do want to keep that in there, so I'm going to flip it around. And this one again is going to be in the seam allowance, so I'm going to back stitch. Make sure it's nice and flat because there's a lot of layers here. It's a lot of layers mostly because I did interface this hanging pocket, and I don't know if I was supposed to, but so it's pretty thick right here. Oops. Okay. There we go. Same thing on this side. just went all over the place. Okay, there we go. Again, I'm going to snip this, bring it over here out of the way. I was a little concerned about that top stitch because the worst place to lose a bobbin is on the top stitch. It's doable, you can fix it, but it's more of a pain. If it's in a seam, you just stop the seam and sew over it, but top stitch, you have to take it out, pull it to the back, get the needle exactly in the same hole. It's a whole thing. So, all right, now we're going to switch back over here and look at our tags. Get my tape that I like to use for the tags. This is a super duper double sticky tape. This is not something you want to clip on. Tags are, I mean, if they're in the seam, like the little sunshine that we just did, that's one thing. But these tags are, you want to stick them on. Getting some water. Okay. All right, we've got, so this is going to be, if you are wearing it, this is going to be against the front of the bag. Sorry, this is going to be against the front of the bag, which would be, if my hip is here, it's going to be here. So that's not true. It's going to be here because the front of the bag is going to be on this side. This is going to be the back of the bag. It's the one that's going to be seen more. So, but I kind of want this on that. I kind of like it on this. I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. Put it right there because that is really cute. I'll just slide it down here close. I don't know. I don't remember what the seam allowance is there. Let me go check real quick. Make sure I'm not going to goof it. Although I could put it like right here. That'd be a little safer. I don't know. Let's look at the top seam allowance. Let me get there. View A. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a good size seam allowance. So I'm going to, what am I doing? Okay, there I am. So I'm going to put, gosh, I really like it there though. The seam allowance is there. It's gonna be too tight. I'm gonna put it here. I'll put it like right there. Let's just measure, make sure it's centered. I'm going to drop it about 1/4 inch below that seam. Get this paper off this tape. And this is going to be a bright, well, not, well, yeah, kind of an aqua on this dark blue, unless I switch over to the other machine to sew this on, which I think I might do. Let's do that. because that is going to be a really big difference. And I've got some navy over here already. So give me one moment. I set up Birdie. I didn't think I was going to need her today, so I didn't do anything. I'm going to use a different color in the bobbin just to make this faster. You won't see it, so it won't matter. Nobody will see it. So it'll be in the bottom. Let me just, I could have turned on the Birdie cam just to show the bottom part of this needle threading, but that's okay. All right, there we go. So we're gonna come over here and ow, hit our knee on the table, because that's fun. All right, let me make my seam allowance, or my stitch length is going to be bigger on this. Move my threads out of the way here. And oof, I'm going to move them this way because I'm going to start on the bottom. I like to start on the bottom of the tag. I don't know why. I just do. Move that in just a teeny bit. Yeah, that looks good. All right. Yeah, that's one more. Up the top. Okay. And long side. Now that I'm at the long side, I'm going to pull this through so I don't forget later. I'm just pulling that top thread right on to the back. Oh, that is very big. Okay, I can do that. Coming around. Oh, that is, I don't like that. I'm going to move this over just a little bit. These seams seem really big. Okay. One more little half stitch we can do. There we go. Okay. And we're just gonna tie these off. We're gonna pull this one. Nope, that one's with that one. Uh-oh, which one am I pulling? Oh, that is that one. Okay. So we're just gonna pull this other thread to the back and tie them off. I'm just doing, you know, both threads, tying them together. It doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be tied well. Okay. I am just going to put a teeny bit of fray check on there just for a little extra security. Probably doesn't need it, but doesn't hurt. So look at that. Oh, that's so cute. I run a tight shipwreck. Oh, this is adorable. Okay, so now that we've got that on, and we are going to put, I'm going to go clip this to the exterior so I don't forget to do it when we get there. So let's do that. Okay, that's clipped to the front, so, or the exterior, so we don't forget. So we're going to do very similar for the gusset that we did for the exterior, except this one has an inner panel to match up with this. And I cut the That should look good. I cut the dyed fabric for the gusset inner panel instead of this. Now I'm looking, should have done that. That's okay. It'll still look good. So we're going to do the same thing, and except first we are going to put the gusset panels on. Oh, I could have put the other little hang tag in here too. That's all right. It's cute where it is. And same for this one. Just like the other ones, we're going to stitch this down, flip them out, give them a quick press, and top stitch. Yes. Yes, Mike? I swear I just...
Make dinner and then go down to the shop or go down?
I guess dinner. So I can tell he didn't want to interrupt me because he's being very quiet. But yes, honey, can you please make dinner first and then go down?
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So I'm going to put the tops. Huh?
Let me know when you want it.
Okay, thank you. All right. So we're going to put the tops on here. We're going to stitch this up. And actually, if you'll give me just one moment so I can talk to him about dinner, because it's about that getting, well, it's not close. It's only 4:30. Hey, hi. Okay. Here I come. All right, so we're gonna go over to machine. And we're doing these at, I need to double check the seam allowance. Good. Okay. All right, so we're gonna do these same seam allowance as the front and the back, which makes absolutely good sense. As I get a little bit harder on the pedal, and she just does not like that. I'm not entirely sure why. Like I said earlier, I did give her some maintenance, some TLC. Sorry for the biological injection input interruption, aka dinner plans. Because believe it or not, Jackie is human. I am that, yes. No, I appreciate you asking about dinner, Mike, because I am hungry. And as most people, while I am human, I don't like to cook. So pretty much unless he feeds me, I'm gonna realize I should have eaten a long time ago and then end up getting something really unhealthy. So he keeps me fed. Snip that off like we did the others. Well, at least the sun's coming out a little bit. Still hear thunder, but I see a little sun now. Okay, I'm just gonna go press these up real quick at the iron. I'll be right back. And I know, like I said before, because I think Mike is listening now, I'm not gonna switch for just a couple of seconds here. Okay. Because it was that quick. Here we go. Actually, I'm gonna do it this way again, like I did before. Okay. Make sure that's flipped to the correct side. It is. Excellent. I'm just going to clip this before it gets too far back. And clip those threads. There's, okay. All right, we are all top stitched and ready to do this gusset. Sew this gusset together. Just want to double check on the seam allowance. I want to make sure they're lined up really well too. Okay, so they're even on that side. They're even on that side. Good. Okay. Ah, okay. Not that clip today. Just gonna grab that clip and double check the seam allowance. I think I know what it is, but I don't want to make a mistake because that would be unfortunate. Yep. Set. So press seam allowance open. Yeah. Okay. So we are going to do the same seam allowance as on the exterior. Nope. Center position, please. Thank you. Go, and I'm going to press this real quick and then go back to the table. We're going to do attach the gusset the same way we did to the exterior. So that really fun way with the clipping. But first I want to press this seam open. Give it a little steam. I know I'm not showing this. It's just an iron, I promise. Okay, so we've got this. And we've got these. We need to mark the centers on these. Again, we're gonna, I'll get rid of those scissors for now. We're gonna just make a little tiny snip. Oops, sorry, little tiny snip there in the center bottom. And we're gonna make a little tiny snip on the center bottom on this one. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and make our little 1/2-inch dots. Make sure she doesn't say to change that because it's the lining. Let me just double check. Yep, still 1/2 inch. Okay. Okay. Where did my other? Oh, there it is. I'm just going to do both of these right now since we've got them here and we kind of know what we're doing this time. So there's one. There's one. Okay. Now I'm going to set this one aside, this one over here aside, and we'll work on the back panel first, just because that's got a lot more going on. So it's going to be harder to kind of, yeah. The other one will be easier to lay down because it's totally flat. And this one's got the pocket on it. So we're just lining up the center and clipping down, and just like we did on the exterior, we're gonna go from one dot to the other. You know what? Nah, I'll do one at a time. I'm not gonna get fancy. It's okay. All right. Back up to the machine, and I might need to go to Birdie for this because I don't think she's gonna like this. It's only 2 pieces of cotton interfaced. Yeah, I'm gonna switch. I'm going to switch. I'm not even gonna switch out thread because you're not gonna see it. It's an inside seam. But let's let Birdie handle this. Okay. All right, let me see. Where's my... Okay. All right. So let's find that little dot. There we go. Why is that not lining up correctly? There we go. stays. Oh, yep, that felt that. The seam that I pressed open was trying too late on one side. Let's double check it one more time. Yep, now it's good. Okay. I'll do one more. Yep, perfect. All right. So we're going to go back over to the table and clip the gusset where it needs to fold up along the sides. And then we'll come back to sew some more. Okay. The hanging pocket looking all weird there, but that's all right. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing we did before. Let me get the tape out of the way here. On the gusset side, I'm gonna trim or give it a little snip up to the thread, but not cutting the thread. It's real close. All right, and then we're gonna swing. Well, let's get that pocket down in there where it needs to be. And we're gonna fold this up. Let's move that fabric that way out of the way. And look at that. We're gonna line up our, this side lines up perfectly. That's awesome. Okay, we're just lining up the inner panels there. And then I'll just go right on down here. Keep on clipping. Fold that side out of the way. Make sure our lining panels are almost perfect. I love that so much. I'm going to trim this one down just a teensy bit. So it is just a teensy bit longer. I was a little concerned. I'm not going to lie. This is one of those moments where you have to trust the pattern. Trust the process. Trust the pattern. Because I didn't think that was going to be long enough. And it was absolutely perfect. Okay. So let's sew the sides up. And we can do the same thing on with the front. Get real close into that corner. There we go. I'm gonna do one more. Okay. And actually, you know what? Hold on, hold that thought. I think she wants us to go and do this a little bit differently. Lining side seams. Yeah, I want to start at the top on the lining side seams because we're going to actually go in a little on these. We're going to go in a little on these to make sure that this lining fits nice and snug inside and it's not bunchy. You know, if you don't, if your lining is the same exact size as your exterior, it's going to get bunchy. So we are going to, I do want to check and see how she wants to handle this part. So I'm going to double check that pattern real quick. Just a moment. That is because I'm going to pull all this out first. Our little stitches that we already did. Okay. Okay. Stitches are pulled out. I'm going to go grab a sip of water and double check this to see how she wants to handle those corners, because they are not going to be exact anymore. All right, so taper to the top and bottom. Oh, at the top and bottom. I could have kept going. All right, that's fine. It's fine. We'll just redo it. It was like 1/2 inch. It's not a big deal. So she's saying at the top and bottom, it still needs to be the right seam allowance. But like as you go farther in here, you can increase the seam allowance so that it fits snugly. So that's what we're gonna do. I was wondering how that was gonna work at the corners. Now I know. Okay, so I'm gonna pop out probably about a good 1/8 inch, because it's going to be an 1/8 inch on all 4 corners, so that might be enough. Maybe I'll go 1/4. Yeah, no, I think we'll be good. So I'm gonna bring it up to about here and just start pushing it out. I'm gonna kind of go sideways a little, line it back up. And I'm gonna go all the way up to the lining part. Oh, my clips are getting caught on the table again. I'm gonna go all the way up to that upper lining panel. And that's where I'm gonna start putting it back to the correct seam allowance. And this, again, is just to get a more snug fit. Let's start moving it back over here. But at the top and the bottom, it's got to be the same, or your exterior and lining won't fit together correctly. So there we go. All right. And clip down here. I'll flip my seam ripper back inside its little case so I don't drop it and stab myself with it, because that would be awful. Trust me, I know. I've done it. Okay. And we're going to start at the correct seam allowance once again. And pretty much do that most of the way through this panel. But then we're going to go start sliding out. So by the time we get to the bottom of the panel, we'll be at the wider seam allowance that we want. Oh, this is super thick. Okay, I'm going to use a hump jumper here just so that we don't run into any issues. There we go. Oop. Okay, now we're back on flat ground here. And for those of you watching, if you don't know what a hump jumper is, it's it just keeps you from skipping stitches or anything when you're going from one thickness to another thickness, like suddenly, like that seam going down to just 2 pieces of fabric. It's much thinner. All right, I'm going to start thinking about squishing back into our regular seam allowance. Maybe a little bit more here, and then I'll come back out. All right, one more. Okay, got one side done. And we're gonna just go back over here and do the same thing on the other side. Wow, that's looking good, isn't it? Look at that. Oh, this is gonna be so awesome. I love it. All right, we already put the dots on here for the corners, so I'm just gonna start lining this up. There we go. The center's matched. And first we're going to do dot to dot. Just going to clip that first. Okay, there we go. Back over to Birdie. Oh, well, this is trying to be difficult. There we go. That's lined up. Okay. Just there. All right. Let's put that piece in. Just going to do this bottom seam. I am checking chats, just so you know. Of course, if you don't see this until you're live, you can leave a comment if you have any questions or anything. I don't even know how many people we've got in here at all. It's entirely possible it's just me and my husband, if he's even still in here. Okay. That's okay. Because we are a very tiny, small growing channel. So I would not expect to have a whole bunch of viewers right away. Only been going a couple of months now, I think. All right. Let's clip these. Let's clip these corners. Maybe a little more. There we go. And we're gonna, once again, fold it up. Make sure these line up. They do. Make sure they're still, yeah, they're still good. Awesome. Tell you, trust your patterns. As long as it's from a well-known, reputable source, I should say. I have seen some patterns that I was like, no, that is not how this works. So there are some not great ones out there. But if you have a trusted pattern source, then do exactly that and trust them. Mike says, my screen currently has 2 viewers. Oh, okay. Well, if it's not counting me, because I'm not viewing it technically, then somebody else is here. And if you are and you'd like to drop a hi in the chat, feel free. This one came out a little bit long again, like the other one did. Let's trim that down. Okay. Like, this is really a nice way to do a gusset, especially for, like, if you're just beginning sewing and you want to make a tote. Some of the gussets on some of them are box corners. Box corners are pretty easy to do. They can be tricky, but typically once you get the hang of it, they're super easy to do. I'm gonna trim these corners here. I don't think I did the others. I need to do those too. But if you don't have box corners on a tote and you've got gussets, typically you're sewing curves. And if you're a beginner, curves aren't really all that easy. You know, they take some getting used to. So having a gusset like this where you just sew the center and then clip the corner and then fold it straight up the side, that is really, really handy. All right, let's get that right where I want it. Nope, that is not where I want it. Back up a little bit. There we go. That's good. All right, and again, we're going to start out at the regular seam allowance and then get in the larger seam allowance for a snug fit. There we go. Good. All right. Going right up to the panel. And we're going to start going back over now. So it is the correct seam allowance at the end. Okay, let me do the other side. Where is it? There it is. Moving it over to the wider seam allowance. Okay, now I've got it nice and flat. There we go. And again, it went up that thickness change on the other side just fine, but I'm a little concerned about it coming down. So I'm gonna use that hump jumper again. There we go. Okay, let's start moving back. That, no, let's back up just, it's about a half stitch to that spot. There we go. Okay, we have an inner bag, a bag lining. So now, if I'm not mistaken, we just need to put it all together. So we're gonna come here, double check the pattern. Oh, my tablet fell asleep. Okay, I'm gonna trim. Are we trimming some of the other? Did I goof? I might have goofed. Nah, I did not leave an opening for turning out later. So, do I want to make this a drop-in and just make my life a little easier? I think I might. No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so this is what happens when you forget to leave a spot to turn your bag out. First of all, let's put it on, yeah, we want it on this side. We want a good 6 inches, but I really feel like we're going to want more, like a little more than that. Just because I interfaced the hanging pocket where she did not. So what we're going to do is we're just going to back stitch over those ends, and then we're going to seam rip that hole. I swear I was watching Thunderbird Handcrafted do this as well, and I think she may have done the same thing now that I think about it. But you just do this to secure that thread really well, and I'm back stitching a good 3/4 of an inch. You probably don't need to do that, but I'm just being super careful. And then I'm going to lift it up, take it over to this side, and do the same thing over here. I'm going to just put my needle right on the seam and backstitch really well. Just to catch all those threads in there, make sure they're not going to go anywhere when we seam rip the center. Yeah. Okay, that should do it. Just trimming some threads here and get my seam ripper. Mike says kind of angry seam rip. Yeah, not really. I'm not in an angry kind of mood. I'm in a, oh, you silly kind of a mood. So I'm just gonna sit here and think, you should have been paying attention kind of a mood. All right, so that's got it started. On the other side, I'm going to go and just get it off the side there. And again, I don't know if you've seen my other videos. I don't seam rip the way that you're quote unquote supposed to seam rip, but it's because I am terrified I am going to actually tear the fabric, not just the threads. So I pull it out bit by bit. I know that's silly, it takes longer, but I don't want to risk tearing my fabric, because you're supposed to, at this point, just stick your seam ripper in here and just go to town. You just go whoop, right up the, I don't know if you could see that, but you're supposed to just stick it in there now with this little ball at the bottom and just push it all the way through so that you're literally ripping all those threads. No. I've put too much time and effort into this bag, not to mention the amazing fabric, and I'm not going to risk ripping it. So I'm going to do this the long way, and that's okay. You seam rip however you want to seam rip. I've said before, and I will say it again, I am not about gatekeeping the sewing community, because that's just silly. All right, we're over halfway there. So it doesn't take like super long to do it this way. And the peace of mind that I get is worth it to me. There we go. And I know I've had to seam rip on I think every live I've done. I will tell you that I do seam rip. I do have to seam rip sometimes when I'm not filming, like just messing around. But for some reason, I'm tending to do it more when I'm live. I think it's because I'm trying to look at the pattern too fast, so it doesn't get boring. I don't know. Either way, here we go. Here we are. This is what we're going to need to turn our bag out, so when you do it. I'm gonna pop that out there. Oops. All right. I mean, it's not terrible. All right, let's just flip this over. Up nice and close to the edge and snip it. All right. That's that. Now we can get back to putting this bad boy together. Okay. So we're going to trim these corners to reduce bulk. And I'm going to do the same thing on the exterior in just a minute. But I want to make sure seams toward assembled gusset. Okay. Okay, I got you. So I'm going to flip to the iron view in just a moment. It's just heating up because we are going to press these. We're going to press these toward the gussets. But first I'm going to trim my exterior corners. And this is just reducing bulk, allowing for us to have nice crisp corners. And actually, before we do that, I'm gonna do the bag tag. I'm gonna do it. It is gray, so I am going to change my top thread. I don't have gray over here. Let me go grab a gray. It's it's gonna be one of these two. Let me go. Let's see which one. This one, I think. Okay. So first I want to make sure it is centered. This is what's so much easier to do before you sew things together. But I'm going to want to make sure it's centered and that it is, I'm going to center it between the handles. And it should, yep, there we go. Center between the handles. And this is going to be that with that. All right, I'm going to bring it, I think, there. I think that might be good. I know it's hard to see. Humble brag, show your thread wall. Oh, I will in a sec, honey. Because if I let go of this, I'm gonna have to remeasure. So just give me one moment. I'm gonna put this. Yeah, I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it right there. No, 1 1/4. I couldn't decide between 1 1/2 and 2, so I'm gonna split the difference and do it 1 3/4 down. Okay, so one between here and here. So that's going to be here. On that side, one on that side. Ah. Okay. Well, I got to close the door. And that side of the room is a mess. So bear with me a moment. So I can close the door and switch to the main cam to show the thread wall. Oh, you want to see how it looks on camera? Yeah, that's fine. So here's the main cam. I'm going to have to moving over here. There it is. There is the thread wall. Mike made that for me. And that's where all my threads are. Well, not all of them. I've got other threads in this cube and this cube. But the smaller threads are on the thread wall that I asked him to make me. So we're going to switch back over to Birdie and get this bag tag sewn on. Oh, but first we're going to put the right color thread in. Okay. Actually, no, I'm going to switch the thread. I was thinking maybe I'll just use the navy, but no, I'm not going to do that. Okay. And because it's really only the top thread we care about, I'm just going to leave the bobbin as that teal color. Is it? Okay, yeah, it did hit. All right. was a little frayed at the end. And you're not going to be able to thread a needle with frayed thread. So just trimmed that off. Not bad without zoom. Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing. It looked pretty cool. It's very colorful. All right. Now this one, I am still going to start on the inside. Yeah, I'm going to start on the bottom. This is going to be weird. Okay. Slide it under that way. Come around. And this is why you put these on before you sew them together. Okay. At least I remembered before it was completed. All right. There we go. Oh, increasing stitch length. One more. That'll do it. Oop, that just moved the camera. Hope it didn't do too bad. Okay. Turning it around one last way here. Oh, making sure the webbing doesn't get in the way. That would be awful. Pull this thread through the back. There we go. This ought to do it. Well, it's a little off. I'm going to actually slide over a bit. There. Nope. You slid off too much. There, that'll do. Okay. All right. Ah! Come back here, webbing. Okay, I'm going to switch to the table cam because it's easier to do it there. Just going to pull that thread through to the back. Crisis averted. Back tag. Sewn on. Okay, snip that. I'm going to put a little fray check on that knot just to be safe. Okay, now let's get back to our regularly scheduled debacle. What's next on the list? What do? We got to skip a whole section because we're not making view B. All right, we're assembling the tote. Y'all, this is it. This is it. This is the last part. Well, sort of. We're going to sew it together. We're going to flip it out. We're going to top stitch it, and then we are going to close up that hole in the bottom. And I think we're going to top stitch. Yeah, we do. Okay, cool. All right. So we want our exterior bag right side in. And we want our lining bag right side out. And I think, hold on, I think I've missed a thing again. Press seam allowances toward assembled gusset. Yes, that's what I was going to do before. So sorry. Iron. Seam allowances toward assembled gusset. This is on the lining. This is going to be interesting to do. All right. I don't know how we're going to do this. I don't know. You know what? I think I'm just going to like kind of do that and kind of spot press it and hope for the best. I think that's what I'm going to do. Because I really don't want to mess up this really nice rectangle situation I've got going here. I'd be tempted to tape it down, but I can't tape it down on this side because, well, because we have, oh, that's how we could do it. Ha! That's one way to do it. Just fold it over. This has a hole in it where we're gonna turn it out, so we can't tape that because we're gonna need to stitch it up later. All right, let's try this on this side too. Okay, this isn't bad. This is I'm gonna just do the middle and go down to the bottom, but on the top, I'm gonna do that completely separately because it's gonna be tough. All right. And here's another toward the gusset. Figure out how to do that in a minute. This one's okay. These need to go toward the gusset. So we just got 2 more to do and we can get back over to assembly. Ow! Without burning our fingers. Okay. All right. Back to assembly. So we want the lining, turn lining right side out, and then I skip a bunch of sections and I go to that, which is seams will nest. Okay. Yep. Handles will be facing down. To the exterior back. Okay. All right. I got this. All right. So we're gonna turn the lining inside out. And I say the lining inside out because the lining is going to be different than this in a little bit, but technically we're turning the lining right side out because we're talking about the fabric specifically. So I'm going to just get those corners nice and poked out. And I'm going to have to poke them back out the other way before long, but that's okay. So we have our lining. Here is the side with the pocket. That is so cute. All right, we want the side with the pocket is on the back. So do we want the Taz River Artisans tag here? Do we want that to be the front? Or do we want that to be the front? And have the Taz River Artisans tag on the back? Huh. Decisions. Mike, you're watching, aren't you? What do you think? I'm gonna Taz River Artisans on the front exterior or on the back exterior? He's not answering. He's probably busy because he's down in the shop. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put on the back exterior. I usually put them on the front. I'm gonna put this one on the back. Nope, lead from the front. Okay, front it is. So that's gonna need to go in here. Okay, so our tag is gonna be on the front. This is the front. This with the hanging pocket is the back. So we really should have marked centers, but we'll deal with that. It'll be okay. So we're going to nest these corners, and that just means we're going to, oh, can't see. That means we're just going to turn one side to one side and the other side to the other and kind of butt them up against each other. So that's the first thing we're going to do is match up the corners. And I'm going to put 2 clips at each, not that clip. I'm going to put 2 clips at each corner. You guys did see that, right? I got that on camera this time. And I'm gonna do this. But actually I'm gonna trim this down just a touch so so it's the same. There we go. Okay, get those butted up against each other and clip on either side of it. Not with that clip. Okay. That's 2 clips that I've broken so far, and all of it on this top seam. Everything else was fine till I got here. But that's okay, because I have backups. Okay, so I'm gonna trim this one too, because this one's a little bit off. I'm just gonna grade it back out so that it still matches. It's just at the very corner it needs to be, I would like it to be exact, so we can just grade it out for the rest. Okay, yeah, that's better. We're gonna butt these 2 up together. Nice and snug. All right. And last one, last corner. Okay, all corners are done. So now we're just gonna finish up along the sides. I'm gonna make sure they're clipped all the way around. This is good. This is good, good, good. Okay. I'm going to put a clip directly on the webbing. Yeah. Okay. It's lined up pretty well. And this other end here. Actually, I can slide that down. Okay, I'm going to clip right on that webbing. All right, now I'm going to sew all the way around. I am going to do this on Jester because it's going to be thick. And then I will, since this is the seam one, I'm going to see if I run out of bobbin thread on this one, or if I'm not going to top stitch it with the bobbin thread I have left. I know I'm 99% sure I do not have enough left, but we're going to see how far we can get on this. And if we have to wind a bobbin, we can. So here we go. Now I am going to sew from the inside like this. I'm going to start kind of along the long edge because it's a nice straight edge to get started on. Put some of these clips over. There we go. I have an empty clip bowl over here. Here we go. Okay. Going over one of the straps, one of the handles there. I think I'm actually going to go back. Just reinforce that strap a little bit more. All right. Okay. Some of this might get a little hard to see. I'm going to do my best. Hold this down with a stiletto so that this seam stays underneath the presser foot. I don't want my finger to go underneath the presser foot. I'm gonna pull that out nice and straight, making sure it's lined up really nicely at the corner. There we go. There we go. Readjust, because now we're on the short end. I hope you can still see this. Now this one has the one pointing this way, the seam pointing that way on the bottom this time. So I'm just going to hold it out nice and flat and let the feed dogs do their thing. Okay, we're back on a long straight area. Oh, that I did not reinforce that first strap. I'll have to do that after we do this. Not a big deal. I'm going to trim these threads though, where I started. There we go. This, oh, I just missed. All right. Okay. Oh, I still have bobbin thread. If I make it all the way around here and still have bobbin thread, I'm going to be so happy. I really only had about half a bobbin when I started, so I did not expect to make it all the way through this bag without having to wind a new bobbin. Oh, I did it again. I'll have to fix that in a minute. Just going to keep on going and go back, reinforce this strap. I'm going to keep going, and then I'm going to go back and reinforce the ones that I didn't do. All right. Hold this one down. There we go. This is nice and straight. Last short end. Oop. Don't do that. Okay. Almost there. Now this is the webbing that I did not reinforce the first time, but it's so close to where I started, I'm just going to do it now. Ends about there. Oh, I lost bobbin chicken, and I didn't notice. It was on the short side. Okay. So I'm not reinforcing that strap because there's actually no bobbin thread. So we're gonna just fix that and keep on going. We're almost there. Oof. Stay on. Thank you. Just to make my life a little easier, I am going to just cut it. Actually, where am I going to cut it? I need to this way and then back this way. All right, I'm going to trim this thread. I know you can't see what I'm doing right now. I'm sorry. Pull my buzzy pin out. Let me just get this started. Okay, and I will try to, oh, I don't think that's gonna lift very well. Maybe? Can you see the top? Well, not very well. It's because it's like right past here, but I'm winding the bobbin. Let me see if I can get it any higher. You can kind of see it. The bobbin's right here. Yeah, you can kind of see it. Okay, anyway, here we go. Let me speed this up. I don't know, while this bobbin winds, I'm gonna get it down on the bottom a little more. It's kind of, there it goes. I took the posi pin out, this thing, because that's what actually moves the mechanism that makes the needle move. So right now, even though this thing right here is spinning like crazy, this thing right here is spinning like crazy, the needle is not. It's literally just winding the bobbin, and it keeps coming too high. There we go. I like it to be even. All right, I think that'll do. It's almost completely full. Not quite, but it's close enough. So let's put that back. And okay. Bobbin, is it in? Yeah, okay. Bobbin case is back in. We're just gonna rethread the machine. And most of this is on the front of the machine, so you can't see it, sorry. go. Put it through. There we go. And the last step. Oh, first shot. I wish I had lowered the camera because I just got that on the first shot on the threading the actual needle. All right, let me move this back down. All right, so we're gonna put the posi pin back in so that the needle will move. There we go. I'm gonna go grab that bobbin thread. Don't do it with your foot, Jackie. Good grief. All right, there we go. So we're gonna go back over here to where reclip this corner. A minute. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna reclip this corner here. I think the rest will be fine because it's not terribly far. But we're going to start back where I lost the bobbin thread and sew over that really well so that it won't unravel on itself. Okay. Woo! Slow it back down. Okay. All right. Based on that timing, I'm pretty sure that I lost the bobbin thread right after I said if I get all the way around this with bobbin thread, I'll be happy. Which I find hilarious. Nice and flat and straight. Okay, so now this time I am going to reinforce the strap since I'm so close. Okay. That looks good, and I'm going to reinforce the strap on the other side that I missed. Just to make sure. Mike, we just got a delivery, if you're listening. I'm sure it can wait, just a heads up. Here, this one. Here we go. Okay, that's good and reinforced. We just really, really don't want the straps to pull out, of course. So I like to reinforce straps all the time. All of my bags will have reinforced straps in some way, shape, or form. Sometimes it's with rivets, sometimes it's with double sewing, what have you. So now we get to go back over and turn it right side out. You hear it backing away? Yeah, it was that awful noise those trucks make. So I'm going to try to make this easier on myself. I'm going to pull it out like this first, and then I'm going to pull this through. And we're pulling the whole thing through that little hole. And we're being firm but gentle. Firm but gentle is the name of the game. Which I feel like is a true statement for a lot of things in life. Okay. All right. There we go. And before I sew this up, we're going to top stitch it. And I'm going to top stitch it before I sew this hole up so that it's easier for me to do that and crunch it. I'm going to go over to the iron because I'm going to use clips for this. It's going to make it easier for me at the table. I'm also going to stuff the lining down inside to keep it out of the way. There we go, so you can kind of see it stuffed inside. I'm going to start on the back right here. This is my top. There we go. Now I'm clipping this from the inside because it's easier for me to do, but I'm going to sew it from the outside because I want my top stitching pieces to be from the outside. So I'm going to try to do this without hurting my webbing. Webbing is not a big fan of being ironed typically, so all right. So I'm going to just pull this out. Try to get it nice and snug. I probably shouldn't have done fleece on both of these. Probably should have done profuse on the lining and fleece on the exterior, but it doesn't make any difference as far as the bag itself is concerned. Like, it's still gonna, you're still gonna use it the same way. It's still gonna be just as durable, in fact, more durable. But it's just a little bit easier to sew if you don't have two layers that have fusible fleece on them. I am going to double check my straps to make sure they are not twisted. They are not. Excellent. Ooh, that's going to be a fun seam. These seams really lined up nicely, though. Press that down a little. And I'm gonna mash these in a minute. I'll show you what I mean. But in the meantime, I am still lining this up all the way around. I don't think the iron is doing a whole heck of a lot, which is why I'm not ironing all of it. It's just so thick with the fusible fleece on both sides. So I'm not going to worry about the iron. Just going to keep pinching and clipping. In fact, since I'm not using the iron, I'm going to switch back over to the table because it's lower and easier for me to get a good grip on it. There we go. I'm also going to get a sip of water. And get my thing I'm going to mush those seams with. Okay. All right. So we're just going to keep going around. And pull that up. So that's at the top. And the seam is nicely mooshed there so that top stitching won't be quite as difficult. And I kind of roll it and then push. So I'm getting as much, as close to that seam as I can. But, it's sometimes it's not going to come all the way out, but you really want to try to get it as close to that, as close to the seam where you sewed them together as you can. So I'm going to kind of roll it a little bit, or roll it and push like I showed you a minute ago. Just different ways to do it. And like I said, this is just tough because I should have done just Profuse on the inside, on the lining. But again, it doesn't change anything on the bag. It actually kind of makes the bag a little more structured around the top, which is not a bad thing. All right, now these are going to be super thick. Jester can handle it. See, they're really, really thick at the corners. Jester can handle it, but I'm still going to mush it down as best I can. These are pliers that are, a lot of people hammer or something like that. I love these pliers. These work really, really well. These are actually like lanyard pliers or something. But I don't really use them because I ended up getting a lanyard die for my riveter, so I can use that now. But these corners, just gonna mesh them nice and snug. And all I'm trying to do is like squish the fabric as close together as it will get, the layers of fabric. If you leave it really loose, you'll skip stitches and it won't look as good and it'll be weird. So that's why we're kind of smushing this down as much as we can. It's also easier if it's smushed because your machine will be able to handle it a little bit better. Like, I don't even know if Jester's going to like this because of the, well, it should fit under her throat just fine. There's just an awful lot of fabric here. So I'm going to go slow around these corners when I'm top stitching. Just got one left. Okay. Down. Okay. All right. So now, whereas last time I sewed from the inside, this time I'm going to sew from the outside so that I can get this top stitching done on the outside. A lot of times people are fine with, that's the wrong camera. A lot of times people are fine with sewing from the inside to top stitch. I much prefer to do it from the outside. I just think the stitching looks better. And this is, I mentioned earlier that I also wanted a cylinder arm. This is why, because this can get tricky, especially if the bag is small, which this is not, so it's not going to be as much of a problem. But it is definitely easier if you, I'm going to do a 1/4 inch on this, I think. I'm not sure what she says to do. Let me go double check the pattern. I think I'm going to do a 1/4 inch because that looks really thick. Wait, where's okay. Where's the top stitching part? Opening. Together. Oh, and she just says and top stitch, so sewer's choice. It's always sewer's choice, to be honest. But we're gonna do it. Actually don't want to start like right in the center because that's going to be really obvious. I'm going to start, this is the back, so I'm going to start a little closer over here so it's not quite as noticeable because I am going to backstitch. There's no way I'm not backstitching this part. And I'm going to top stitch with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, which is usually too much. It looks weird, but with this thickness and with you know, as big as this bag is, I think it'll look fine. And that will ensure that both sides of my presser foot is down on the fabric. So it'll actually help the mechanics of the stitch as well. So that's what we're going to do. All right. Here we go. I'm going to be constantly checking to make sure that nothing snuck up from underneath that's going to get in my top stitch. Oh yeah. Yeah, she doesn't care about these thick seams. That's what the word is. Something feels weird. What is everything feeling okay? All right. I don't know what that was. But we're gonna keep on going. And even though this is clipped, I'm still just checking and kind of finagling a little bit right before I sew it. The main reason I clip it is just so it's easier for me to find the seam. I could do this whole thing without clipping it at all. I just prefer to clip it so I can find my way easier as I go. Okay, let's flatten all this out. That's why, because we're on the back with the hanging pocket. It felt very thick in here. Thought something had snuck up and was going to get in the stitch that shouldn't be in the stitch, but it's just that pocket. Okay, next corner. Let's flatten this out as best we can. And remember, if you're sewing, when you're sewing and you move things around like this, always, always, always make sure your needle is in the fabric. Make sure your needle is down. You do not want to start moving things around like that and have it pull it right out from under the presser foot, because then you've got to, I mean, you can still fix it. You can still pull it out and tie it off on the back and then start in the same hole. But it's just so much easier if you remember to put the needle down. Ask me how I know. If there has been a mistake sewing, I've probably made it at some point. So most of these tips I give you are lessons learned. And usually the hard way. Oh, you see, that was trying to sneak up and get in my top stitch, and you do not belong on that side. The pocket, this little pocket over here from the other side, where is the camera? All right, the camera's really messed up. I'm so sorry, y'all. Did not notice that. This pocket was trying to sneak up all the way over here. So I'm going to make sure that's not in the way. Let's see. Okay, you can see again. So sorry about that. I don't know if my fabric moved it or if it bounced away, or I'll try to keep a better eye on it. So that was weird. The size of this bag, though, wouldn't surprise me if the fabric moved it. So. Okay. Ah. Oops. Okay. And I actually ended up not reaching through that hole that we left on the inside to turn this. I was saying, I'm going to clip these threads real close, but I was saying I do that last so I can reach up through it, and then I didn't reach up through it. But a lot of times if you're having trouble like maneuvering this so that they're close to the seam and you've got a good handle on it, you can go up from the inside. This is, for some reason, feels a little thicker. You can go up from the inside, and I don't know if it's gonna need one or not. And yeah, there we go. Just to get it over that little bit. You can go from the inside and like poke it out from the underside, and so that's really helpful sometimes. That is why I leave that hole open, the turning hole. Okay. All right. We're almost there. Actually go by where I started. I'm gonna go past it so that I can backstitch closer to this corner, and it won't be as obvious if it's closer to the corner. At least that's the theory. Okay, snip those threads. And oh, I hit the thing again. All right, so now I'm just making sure, I'm not even going to show you on the camera. I'm just making sure it looks good. Nothing got caught in it that wasn't supposed to be, and it's not. So now we're going to go ahead and sew up this bottom piece, and I will show you what I'm going to do at the iron. Because this is definitely a good thing for the iron. So you've got this hole, and of course we know exactly where, I'm looking at the wrong direction. We know exactly where I need to fold it because of that seam that I did, and I had to seam rip. That is not something, it's handy right now, but it is not something I recommend. I recommend just once it's done, you just iron it like this, and iron that down. I just did one side first, and then I'm going to do the other side and match it up. Some of this is weird because of the interfacing. Let me just iron that flat real quick. There we go. Okay. The other way you can do it too is kind of just pull from both ends and make sure you've got it pulled up as much as you can from here, from either side. Just kind of pull from both ends and then put it down from there. That's what I'm going to do. And iron, and I should have grabbed some clips. Let me do that. I can reach them. I press. Okay. Ow. That is very hot. Irons are hot. Duh. All right. There we go. And we're going to just take this, and with a super skinny seam allowance, like 1/8, maybe a scant 1/8, we're going to sew that closed. I think Jester will be good for this. I am, let's see here. How do I want to do this? I'm going to do it like that. I normally don't seem so seams closed on Jester, but I like her thread better than the other one, and I'd have to change Birdie's thread, so I'm not gonna. But I am gonna pull this through. I think. Nah, I'll backstitch. I'll backstitch. It's gonna be in the bottom. 1, 2. Okay. So we're looking at a very scant, like a 16th to a scant 1/8 is what this is happening right now. And as long as I catch both, it should be fine. Or it is fine, I should say. Because I do want it narrow. I don't want a big weird, you know, flap or something sticking out of the bottom of the bag. But at the same time, I do want to make sure they close up completely. And where's the end of my hole? I've lost it. Ah, it's right here. Okay. So we want to go past this point. Okay, and we are officially past it, so. All right. There we go. Our bag is done. I've got to flip it out and make it look pretty, but it is done. Now we'll go back over to the main camera. Is it? Yep, okay. Turn my computer around so I can see. Okay, so let me put my tablet over to the side here. Ah, I've made a mess. Okay, I've made a mess. So here we go. The last thing is to poke out these corners really well, which I probably should have done before I sewed it up. I sewed up the side, but that's okay. We can, yeah, these are such good corners. I love the way these look. This is amazing. And this one, poke it out real good. I'm gonna lean in and get these lining corners also pushed out, especially this one. Yeah, that one was off. Oh, come on. All right. This is, wow, this is so cute. This is so cute. Okay, all right, you ready? Here we go. This is the front. And this is the back. Sides. Adorable handles. And then the inside. We've got the hanging pocket. Can't tell which I'm on. The hanging pocket on the inside of the back. And on the inside of the front, we have the fun I Run a Tight Shipwreck. There it is. I Run a Tight Shipwreck. That's so cute. Oh, I love this so much. So the other one that I want to make, and I'm not going to, you could add if you really wanted to, you could add a magnetic snap here too, but I'm not going to. The other one is a smaller version of this, and I'm making view B, so it's going to have a zipper at the top. So it should be really cute too. I will come on and show you that when it happens. But I'm not going to do it live because it's a lot. Just because the extra zipper and stuff. Like this didn't take long. This took like 3.5 hours. That's not terrible. That one is going to take a lot longer. So, anyway, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for viewing. If you liked the video, please give it a like. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you want to know when I go live, click the notification bell. I don't always know when I'm going to go live. I do try to announce it on Instagram and Facebook before it happens. but sometimes I forget. So that's it. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you later.